More than 2,500 years ago, Siddhartha Gautama, a prince from the Shakya clan, renounced his kingdom, realized the ultimate truth, attained enlightenment, and became the Buddha, or the perfectly enlightened one. He's known as Buddha Shakyamuni. After his enlightenment, he began his first teaching in Sarnath to his first 5 disciples. For 35 years, he taught the different methods to eradicate outer, inner, and secret sufferings and to attain liberation. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas and the enlightened practitioners of Buddha Dharma for the next 2.5 millenniums until today have continued to take rebirth among humans and among other sentient beings to commit their lives in benefit of others. Their extraordinary lives have been studied and contemplated upon as examples to follow. In the 11th and 12th century CE, among the enlightened beings who served tirelessly in the 6 realms were the 84 Indian Mahasiddhas, who exhibited exceptional abilities unimaginable by human minds. They could fly in the sky, they could walk through the walls and fire, and they could command a change in weather and physical circumstances. They were in control of their destinies, and they were able to use their abilities to help many beings due to their remarkable spiritual achievements. So they were beyond mundane concepts. Among them, Naropa, an Indian prince born in 1016 CE, became one of the most important sources of one particular Vajrayana lineage that spread far and wide in the Himalayas. He was to return as Changpa Gyare Yeshe Dorje, the founder of the Drukpa lineage. Naropa was broadly recognized and revered as a direct emanation of Avalokiteshvara, the Buddha of great compassion. Despite his unusual destiny, he went through an ordinary life before renouncing his kingdom, his wife, and his possessions, embarking on a path in search of the ultimate liberation from the endless samsaric cycle, just like the Buddha. Before meeting Tilopa, his destined teacher, Naropa was already an accomplished scholar at the renowned Nalanda University. Due to his wisdom, oratory skills, and spiritual understanding, Naropa became the northern gatekeeper and the chancellor of the university. Following the guidance of Vajra Yogini in a dream, Naropa left Nalanda and travelled eastward, where he finally met Tilopa. Tilopa instantly put him through 12 major and 12 lesser hardships in order to purify his karma and obscuration. After attaining enlightenment in today's Sani monastery in Zanskar, Naropa was offered the renowned 6-bone ornaments by the Dakinis, and he flew into the sky with these ornaments. He taught in many places and had numerous disciples, especially in Kashmir and Zanskar, where he established many monasteries. Naropa was said to live until 1100 CE and then resurrected into light, leaving no physical remains. In 1161 CE, a child was born amidst miraculous signs and auspicious omens, wrapped in a membrane and taken care of by an eagle until the baby broke the membrane with his legs, casting a deep footprint in a rock nearby. He was none other than Dragon Changpa Gyare Yeshe Dorje, the first Gyalwang Drukpa and the founder of the Drukpa lineage. And he was the reincarnation of Naropa, the great Indian scholar saint of Nalanda, and the unmistaken emanation of Avalokiteshvara. At the instruction of his guru, Linchen Repa, as Dragon Changpa Gyare was looking for a holy site to set up a monastic institution, he witnessed 9 dragons that flew into the sky with a loud clap of thunder, and he decided to name his lineage the Dragon Sect, or Drukpa. Dragon Changpa Gyare had countless disciples. tens of thousands of accomplished spiritual practitioners who would instantly gather whenever he gave teachings, and all received completely the purest oral instructions. Chakra Sambara revealed one day to Dragon Yogis that in this fortunate eon, he would manifest full Buddhahood and be the Buddha Moepa. In the palace of the turquoise lake, in the sacred abode of Sari, Vajra Yogini predicted that the blossoming and propagation of his spiritual lineage would become legendary. Just as predicted, people at that time used to say, "The glorious Drukpa lineage spreads to the distance, covered across the earth by a vulture's flight in 18 days. And a popular saying of the time was, "Half of the people in the world are Drukpas, half of them are yogis, and half of these yogis are enlightened beings." The popularity of the Drukpa lineage among practitioners seeking enlightenment is also described by another saying. Followers of Upper Drukpa are like stars in the galaxy. Followers of Lower Drukpa are like dust on the ground. Followers of Middle Drukpa are the grains of sand on the river bank. Sangpa Gyalwa's two main disciples, Gyalwa Lorepa and Gyalwa Gotsangpa, together with Gyalwa Yangonpa, a disciple of Gyalwa Gotsangpa, were collectively known as Gyalwa Namsum, the three victorious ones. The followers of Gyalwa Lorepa came to be called the Lower Drukpas. The followers of Gyalwa Gotsangpa came to be called the Upper Drukpas. And the followers of Onre Dharma Singye, nephew of Sangpa Gyare, came to be called the Middle Drukpas. Until Gyalwa Gotsangpa went to meditate at the sacred Mount Kailash, there was no proper route and pilgrims walked about as they chose. He charted the route for circumambulating Mount Kailash, Lake Manasarova and Lake Rakshastal. Thereafter, many Drukpa monasteries were founded on this route. Even today, at a time that is critical for the Buddha Dharma, the Drukpa lineage is responsible for more than 1,000 monastic centers across the Himalayas, and it has also spread to many countries in the world with one motivation: to spread the teaching of eradicating suffering and of attaining individual and collective happiness, peace, and harmony. As prophesied by Dragon Gyare, the first Gyalwang Drukpa, his own nephew, Onre Dharma Singye, sent Pajo Drugom Shigpo to Bhutan, and he established the spiritual and temporal influence of the Drukpa lineage there. In the 13th century CE, Gyalwa Lorepa visited Bumtang and founded Chodrak Gompa and spread teachings of the Drukpa lineage. Later, at the invitation of the descendants of Pajo Drugom Shigpo, many other Drukpa lineage masters, such as Jamyang Kunga Sengye, Trulshik Namkai Naljo, Gyalwang Je, Nawang Chiogal, Drukpa Kunleg, Mipam Chiogal, and Mipam Tenpe Nyima, visited Bhutan and further spread the teachings of the Drukpa lineage. According to his own prediction, the fourth Gyalwang Drukpa, Kunchen Pema Karpo, returned with two reincarnations in late 16th century CE, Shabdrung Nawang Namgyal and Paksam Wangpo. Shabdrung Nawang Namgyal unified Bhutan in 1651 and established himself as the spiritual and temporal ruler of Bhutan. He renamed the country Druk and the people Drukpa to indicate the supremacy of the lineage. Shabdrung Nawang Namgyal appointed Peka Jungne as the first Jade Kempo, the spiritual head of all monasteries in Bhutan. Since then, the successive Jade Kempos, together with their majesties the kings of Bhutan, are recognized as the supreme spiritual heads of the kingdom of Bhutan. It is due to their unconditional and relentless effort in upholding the lineage and benefit beings that the Drukpa lineage is still thriving in this country. The first Tatsang Repa, a disciple of the fifth Gyalwang Drukpa Pagsam Wangpo, and the first Drukpa Yongzin Rinpoche Latsewa Nawang Zangpo, accepted the invitation of Ladakhi king Sengye Namgyal and arrived in Ladakh in 1624 following his guru's instructions. He first founded Hanle Monastery and then in 1630 the famed Hemis Monastery, just below the meditation cave of Gyalwa Gotsangpa. Successive reincarnations of Tatsang Repa became the spiritual teachers of the kings of Ladakh, who in turn were the patrons of the Drukpa lineage. The lineage further flourished with visits by 6th, 7th and 8th Gyalwang Drukpa to Ladakh. In late 16th century, Choje Jamyang Palka, the great scholar from Bhutan, came to Ladakh at the invitation of King Jamyang Namgyal and founded Stakna Monastery and its branches in Zanska, Stakrimo, Bardan and Sani. In 1706, a great master from Bhutan, Jamgon Nawang Gyaltsen, also came to Ladakh at King Nima Namgyal's invitation. He gave many teachings to the king and the people of Ladakh, displayed many miracles, and made several predictions. He also played a pivotal role in further spreading the Drukpa lineage in Ladakh. Since the time of Naropa and the sight of the 9 dragons flying into the sky, for close to 1,000 years, countless yogis of the Drukpa lineage have been benefiting beings in the Himalayas. Besides Tibet, the Kingdom of Bhutan and Ladakh in North India, these extraordinary teachers have left their amazing footprints in Kinnaur and Lahore in the Indian Himalayas and many parts of Nepal. After the political upheaval in Tibet, the Drukpa lineage masters outside Tibet began to establish roots and preserve the practices by refurbishing old monasteries and retreat centers, building new ones, training monks and nuns, and publishing rare scriptures and texts. In recent years, Drukpa masters in Tibet also began restoring their monasteries and spiritual tradition vigorously. Today, we live in a very crucial time where the teaching of universal truth is urgently needed to arrest the inner and external turmoil and confusions. We are very fortunate that these extraordinary beings have not given up and have continued to take rebirths among us, encouraging us to put bodhicitta into practice. By following their footsteps, we are gradually empowering ourselves on the heroic path to enlightenment, only for the benefit of all beings. It is with this strong and unwavering commitment that the teachers and their students of this glorious lineage of Dragon Yogis will continue to sustain and thrive.
You managed to plant a total of 99,013 trees. So congratulations, that's the Guinness World Record.